roughly about 102 missing periods in my life. And a lot of those, when I was returned home, or when I wound up somewhere, maybe even a whole another city, I have found unusual markings, bruises, burns. One time I actually had a person I know who is they're a chemist, had him inspect my fingers, and he said that it appeared that my fingers had been dipped in acid, and still to this day my fingertips constantly are peeling skin. But what I'm getting at is, from another source of mine, who may or may not be listening to the show right now, what I was told is that a lot of experimentation has been taking place on me, testing things. They're almost using me as like a petri dish. Why? I don't know. Does it suck? Yeah, it does. And it's definitely made my life even more difficult. Yeah, when I just took a look at it, like I said just before the show, I was really, really puzzled, because I usually heal pretty fast, and instead of it getting better, it appears to be getting worse.
Now, you've told me ways of healing before that Dave has witnessed, and has that crossed your mind at all? Of, I don't know if in this, I know you have different personalities that you can go into, and is it possible that you still have that ability that person used in David's house, what you guys talked to me about on the phone? I don't know if we shared it on air, but that's something, if you're willing to share on air, you can. But have you thought about maybe healing yourself in that way?
Well, I mean, it's a possibility. I've never really tried it. I've only done it for others. But the problem is, someone who I'm going to be talking about tonight, we'll call her Axe. I'm going to refer to her as Axe. But anyways, Axe got pretty upset with me a while back. She was in the program with me. She was at the project, and an incident occurred several weeks ago. I was in another state, helping out another friend of mine who was part of another project. I will not say this person's name, but something was going on. My left eye started twitching, which is usually an indication of me going into an altar. For the next, I think it was 4 hours after that, my friend proceeded to tell me exactly what was happening, and I actually was in correspondence, I guess, in this alternate state with Axe. What my friend told me was that I had stepped outside and apparently had taken some snow or something and had kind of done an immersion of my hands in the ice crystals. And for the next 4 hours, I was going from consciousness to being awake, going into violent convulsions. Even I guess I stopped breathing completely on numerous occasions. So what I'm getting at is, I have to be very, very careful with myself. So as far as this new, unusual thing that's on my darn leg, I'm just going to have to see what happens.
That's something, man. When you say you've been in projects with Axe, I know we want to talk about your bio and really take this back to the beginning, and I don't know if that includes her, but I have a question since we're on the topic now. Because Axe was in some of these projects with you, did she work with you in the same way that she worked with Duncan?
Yes. Yes,
And
Axe, Duncan, and I are all connected very closely. Axe more closely than Duncan. I did do some operations with Duncan, but a good number of the things that I was a part of at the base, Project Seagate base, was with Axe. I had spoken to Axe a couple times. Axe is quite worried about me because of things that have transpired as of late, threats, attempts on life, and even a certain family member of mine getting more heavy surveillance. So what Axe wanted me to do was she wanted me to share her involvement with me so that that is on record in case anything happens.
sounds like something we need to cover.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover it.
Okay, so let's take it back then to the beginning, you know, and the whole bio of Aaron McCollum and exactly how you got into this and you know, just started remembering. When did you start remembering all these things coming? Like it couldn't have, you know, happened from the beginning. Obviously, you probably have some type of memory coming back, like in Duncan's situation or in Dave's situation. So let's take it back.
All right, I guess we'll just... Now, before I start getting into this, I have to remind people to please bear with me. I'm a little out of it right now, not quite feeling myself, but, I mean, I'm definitely feeling better than earlier. But what I can do, how I do this, is I'm going to basically explain to you the fragmented memories I have. Now, some of them, I do have a lot of false memories, but I have been able to get some of them sorted out. Some, not yet. But what I'm going to tell you is from memory, but also from people that I know that have known me for many, many, many years, who have told me things about me that they know for fact. Okay, so with that said, I guess it goes back to when I was about 3 years old. This memory started out as nightmares, waking up in cold sweats, even waking up feeling like I was choking or drowning. Then it was starting to become more flashbacks. And then after a little bit of digging and some help with a close friend, I found out that this was true. I was taken to a facility by my grandmother. I'm not sure where the location was, but all I can tell you is I remember that it was like a sterile, almost like a hospital, and there was a pool. I don't even remember how big the pool was, but that doesn't even matter. Now, somehow I was put into, I don't know if I was tied up or if they had put something in me to cause me not to be able to physically move, because I know from, again, confirmation that I knew how to swim at an even much younger age. So what happened was I was put into the pool, and then I don't remember anything after that until laying on some kind of low table, like a metal type table, and gagging up water, being very, very scared and completely disoriented, and then seeing several men and women around me, and started, you know, they were talking, and the one thing I remember is that they said something like, "We have one," or "He fits," something of that nature. That's when things started to really take off for me. Now let's
So you had an ability with water, probably, is what they were looking for?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, everything that I know, that's the only reasonable explanation based on who I am, what I've done, and the people who have accounted and you know, told me other things about me